Hi Aquarius, welcome. So Aquarius, this is going to be your tarot reading and we're going to go ahead and get straight into it. So Aquarius, when I was meditating on the collective energy before starting the video, I was getting a lot of messages about the pioneer of change. Aquarius being the symbol of the pioneer of change. And Aquarius, you are a very future forward, futuristic type of zodiac sign, and that's why Aquarians kind of get the label of being like the alien of the zodiac, because you don't tend to think like everybody else thinks. You tend to be a few steps ahead. You tend to see things from a different perspective, etc. And so there's something occurring in the energy, Aquarius, where you're on the leading edge of change that the collective is soon to follow, right? And so this would be kind of different for each of you as to what area of life this is. But just take note, Aquarius, that you tend to go through things before those that are connected to you go through it. And you're kind of carving the path, right? For those that are linked to you, for those that are connected to you. And that's just kind of a natural part of being an Aquarian, you know? And as an Aquarian myself, I can honestly say that that's one of the best parts of being an Aquarian, but it also can be very scary because a lot of the times I feel the Aquarius people are pushed to do something that would seem edgy or out of the box before maybe the collective or society or your family, you know, is ready for that type of change, right? So it's exhilarating, and at the same time, it can feel very scary. But it is natural part of falling under the sign of Aquarius, right? It's kind of that rebellious type of energy that's wanting to come through, which is interesting because planetarily speaking, we're in a retrograde, which is usually brings us a little bit backwards, has us thinking about the past, but you're kind of asking to be to forge ahead, maybe to resist the urge to go and reflect on the past during this time frame, which might be easier said than done, Aquarius, especially since we just had a full moon in Pisces as well this past weekend. But let's go ahead and get into it and see. I will say I also had a song come through, okay? And it's very much geared towards my feminine Aquariuses, but if you're a masculine Aquarius, it may also resonate with you in some way. Right, we all have feminine and masculine energies, but the song is by Meredith. Ooh, I don't even remember her last name. She says, I'm a little bit of everything all rolled into one. I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother. I'm a sinner, I'm a saint, I do not feel ashamed. I'm your health, I'm your dream, I'm nothing in between, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Meredith Brooke, maybe? I'm not really sure. I'm going to put these back because those fell out before I was ready. But you may randomly hear that song. That song may resonate with you. You may actually recently listen to the song. I mean, take it as it resonates, you know what I mean? So... And I feel like that song accurately captures Aquarians. Like I said, whether you're masculine or feminine, right? It's just like you're a little bit of everything all rolled into one. So, and then, so I'm getting also the second lyric. So she says, so take me as I am. So take me as I am. This may mean you'll have to be a stronger man. So, or a woman. Okay. All right, so you have the card of complexity, which is funny that came out while I was giving that little spiel there. And then the King of Wands paired with that. So this is the crowning energy here for you, Aquarius. So this is, yeah, like a very complex energy, something only an Aquarian would understand. You might find yourself going through a life circumstance or a situation where only you truly understand like the inner workings of why you feel the way that you feel or why you're choosing the things that you're choosing. They're saying don't get so caught up, Aquarius, in trying to explain yourself or to feel the need to help others understand, because it's not really for them to understand, it's for you to, and people will naturally grow with you, right? But you are the pioneer of change. That's the message I keep getting. So at the same time, this could feel a little bit irritating to you. You could be clashing with other people right now, or just clashing with yourself. You could be having arguments with yourself, Aquarius, where like one day you're totally for something and the next day you're questioning yourself. You could have a little bit of that internal battle going on. This is a very transformative energy though. And oh my gosh, I just noticed this. Okay, didn't I say Aquarians, we're known as the aliens of the zodiac? There's a freaking UFO in that card. What are the odds that I would get a card with a UFO on it as I'm sitting here talking about aliens? Oh, too funny. All right, so then you have the King of Wands. This is all about leadership, ownership, taking the lead. Aquarius, you are in charge, all right? You are leading the way. Even if other people are looking at your life right now and they are completely puzzled by your choices, they will see in the long run how you have carved out a path for yourself that others may follow suit later on with. So the leader of change. That's why I think I'll title this reading maybe, but let's see. So let's go a little bit deeper, Aquarius, and see what else we have coming in for you. I'm going to look at the Headspace, see what we've got going on there. Then we're going to look at the Heart Space and the future energy. So what does Aquarius need to know for their Headspace? The King of Cups. I can still hear that song. I might go listen to that song. King of Swords. It is an empowering song, right? It's all about embracing yourself for all the parts that make you who you are. The Empress and the Page of Cups. So very interesting. Aquarius. There's like two sides of you showing up here, okay? And actually, whether you are female or male, you're showing up as this more masculine energy, which Aquarius, you are dominated by masculine energy, whether you're a feminine or a masculine. But you seem to be more so ever, more so, can I speak? More so now than ever, showing up in your more dominating masculine energy, okay? And or Aquarius, you might have a lot of masculine energy around you, okay? So take it as it resonates, or it could be both. So to me, this is talking about like getting in tune with your spiritual self, getting very clear on what it is that you want and how you think and how you feel. Spending time taking care of yourself, staying open to new concepts, new ideas, new connections, Aquarius. This is a very beautiful energy to be in, right? This is patience, this is love, this is softness. And yet, trumping that is this very knowledgeable, masculine, dominant part of you, Aquarius. So I feel like right now you have alchemy, right? You have some sort of balance here. If you're tuning into this reading, then you might be an Aquarian who is right now mastering a better balance between your masculine and your feminine energies, as we all embody a little bit of both, right? And finding that balance between being firm, but also being loving, right? Being knowledgeable, but also being open-minded, right? And not letting your ego go into overdrive, or to go to one extreme or the other, because some of you might have been going back and forth between those two extremes, being too brash or too direct without enough empathy, or vice versa. Some of you could have been being too much of a pushover and too soft and not setting your boundaries clear. So it doesn't really matter which category you were in, Aquarius, or if you were flip-flopping back and forth between those two. Right now is all about balance, finding balance between those two energies. And a lot of you are on this journey of kind of figuring yourself out and how to have a more balanced, logical, but loving approach to life, to relationships, just in general, especially when things get complicated, right? Because I feel like sometimes when things get complicated, Aquarius, you tend to lean more towards the masculine energy of becoming the boss or taking the lead or even becoming dominating or demanding, right? But now it's like you've grown, all right? And so now you know how to do that with also bringing compassion. Because sometimes Aquarians, we get a bad rap, right, of not being the most compassionate of the signs, which I think is silly because I think Aquarians are humanitarians at heart and are naturally compassionate. However, we don't always express it in the ways that others may understand that, right? So I feel like here's your opportunity to also work on how you're expressing your love and your compassion to other people and being a little bit more open-minded, right? Especially when it comes to new concepts and ideas. I do feel like a lot of you are maybe very intelligent or very good at what you do and you know a lot, Aquarius, but there's always room for growth. There's always room to learn new skills or new things. And right now they're wanting you to kind of put aside that I know mentality, because of course you do, but you could always know more if you have an open mind. And so being encouraged to also keep an open mind when it comes to what's going on right now in your life. And actually, Aquarius, the more open-minded you could be, right, the more open-minded people tend to be towards you. So keep that in mind, right? So let's go a little bit further and see, Aquarius, what's going on in the heart space. Now, for, dang it, I almost said something else. I try to keep it PG-13 over here. You have so much masculine energy showing up. So let me talk about that. Some of y'all, you are dealing with more than one masculine energy here, right? Or you have choices or options here. Others of you, again, what I'm sensing is like, this is the more masculine part of you coming through, but take it as it resonates. Okay. So you have the Six of Cups and the King of Wands, the Lovers, and the Emperor. All right, so Aquarius, it could be, oh my goodness gracious, where to begin? Hold on a second, I'm going to collect my thoughts with this one. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 kings out, okay? Which is unusual. So think about the dominant masculine influences in your life, from father figures to bosses to if you're into men, your exes, your partner, your current partner. For whatever reason, the masculine figures in your life are being heavily highlighted. Okay, and this has to deal with something about the way you handle emotion and relationships. And it could be something that is coming from the masculine heritage in your family, the father, the grandfather, the great-grandfather. Think about how the patriarchy in your family, Aquarius, handles relationships and emotions, right? And then pay attention to how you behave or who you draw into your life, Aquarius, because it really is no secret or coincidence that we often tend to attract partners that have similar characteristics to our parents. It's a simple law of attraction. There's a lot of ideas and thoughts behind why that is, Freudian theory, all of that, but it really just simply is law of attraction. You get what you focus on, whether you want it or not. Well, what's a large focus of your life when you're growing up? Your parents. So you often look for those qualities or attract partners with those qualities as you become an adult. So I don't know why this is important right now or why this is coming through. But something about like the patriarchy having obviously a direct impact on not just how you behave in relationships, but I feel like in the people that you attract. It doesn't have to be intimate partners either, but for a lot of you it is. Pay attention to the correlation between the two, okay? And you know what, as I think about this, because y'all know I'm an Aquarius too, my father's birthday is coming up. And so patriarchy is heavy in my energy right now. So I can relate to this reading somewhat. But anyways, let me make it about you now. So showing up in the emotional space, there's that retrograde nostalgia. You know, some of y'all, especially around the Pisces full moon, might have really been missing the past, someone from the past, your past life, the way things were in the past, etc. You might have really gotten sucked into that energy. Or it could be that you're getting sucked into that energy during this time frame. But again, the focus is that they want you to have, Aquarius, is to be more future forward thinking, and it's not saying don't think at all about the past, because it would be difficult not to during a retrograde, but they're saying don't base your life off of what used to be. Base it off of what you want it to be going forward. Because there is a sense of empowerment coming through, and also connections and relationships being very, very important, right? They're wanting you to be more open-minded too when it comes to the concept of relationships and commitment. You know, that it's okay to maybe behave different than a learned behavior that you've picked up along the way, possibly from the patriarchy. So there does seem to be a very strong connection being highlighted here for you, Aquarius. So some of you, you know, in your heart of hearts may have someone very special that you are thinking about or that is thinking about you. I feel like if you are an Aquarian who's resonating with that, you already know like who that is about or what that is about. There might be some complex puzzle pieces though around that connection as to like how things are going to work out, but I'm hearing in due timing things will make a little bit more sense. Right now they're wanting you to worry more about finding that balance within yourself, as well as doing some reflection during this time frame and taking care of yourself, Aquarius. The Empress energy is someone who cares for others, yes, but also cares for self. So that being highlighted yet again here. So let me go further. I have a few more messages coming out. Sorry, this is the complex reading. But I'm going to wait to get all the cards out, and then we'll talk about what else I'm seeing here. So let's get the bigger spiritual picture then of what Aquarius needs to know. The Moon. The Knight of Swords. The Ten of Pentacles. The Wheel. So I feel like this is highlighting the full moon, but this could also be that sense of overwhelmment, right? That sense of like your emotions getting the best of you, Aquarius, during this time frame. So be very careful about that, especially about communicating. I wouldn't recommend like communicating when you're feeling overwhelmed, as you might say things that you don't even mean, right? You could be very adamant about something and then the next day be like, I don't really even feel that way anymore, you know, and then have to change, you know, what you said, or I keep hearing change the subject. So change the subject. If things start to feel like really awkward or overwhelming, and say you're connecting with another person, it's probably best to change the subject, right? Like I wouldn't be trying to broach like really personal and deep things right now. I would wait until the energy is a little bit better planetarily towards the end of September, early October. But if there is conversation that needs to be had and it starts to feel uncomfortable, you might feel the urge to change the subject, right? Or to move away from that until you're feeling a little bit more clear in what it is that you're wanting, so that you don't miscommunicate or over communicate or under communicate, Aquarius. There is this stronger sense of stability, though, and certainty coming in for you, which is helping things to work a little bit smoother. So I do feel like if you had been feeling out of sorts, right, and these retrogrades were getting the best of you, I feel like you getting more at home and at peace with your current situation or where you're currently at in a relationship or in your life, and that giving you a deeper sense of relief, of accomplishment, of cooperation as well. It's like, Aquarius, when you are wanting to be cooperative with others, they tend to want to cooperate with you. You know what I mean? So they're wanting to bring in that message again about leading the change, or leading by example. Let's say that, like, the way you teach is not through words, Aquarius, it's by how you live, right? And by you not being afraid to be the first to do something, or the first to try something, or the first in your family to carve out a certain path, even though that may feel scary, you are literally leading the way for others who may want to follow in future generations, Aquarius. So this could be like something as simple as, like, you're the first one in your family to move to a different state, or graduate college, or you know, choose a open relationship instead of a committed relationship, or, you know, I could keep going, right? It's going to be different for each of you. But I feel like if you're watching this, you're an Aquarian who is on some sort of leading edge of change that is unusual for the people who immediately surround you. Okay. And maybe you've been that way your whole life. Maybe this is new to you, etc. But I just feel like, don't be afraid, though, to put yourself out there and take the lead and be yourself and be the natural Aquarian that you are. And they're giving me that song again. I'm a little bit of everything all rolled into one. Sorry, my ears started ringing and itching. Somebody must be talking about me. You know, yeah, just don't be afraid. And to give you guys like a real life example, right? I'm the first in my family to have a YouTube, or to even come out in the psychic community, you know, and how scary was that, right? Like, I really wasn't sure how my family would accept either of those things, because it's not the usual, right? It's definitely not a path that has been taken before. But to my surprise, it not only was accepted by most, not all, but it led the way for other people who are connected to me in my friends group and my family group to open their mind up to the spiritual community, to tarot, you know. And I have a lot of family and friends that watch me on here that otherwise would have never probably watched content like this, you know. So and I'm an Aquarius. So it's something like that, Aquarius, where this time frame, and they're actually saying from now through March, really through March of next year, I'll have to look, see what's going on planetarily then, is the beginnings of carving out some sort of path for yourself. All right, so come back to this reading. I don't know if you could bookmark it, but come back to this reading if you can in spring and see what occurs, all right? And also how the masculine figure plays into this, or the masculine energy within you, okay? So, Aquarius, the other message I wanted to say here is that you seem to have a great influence on the masculine energies in your life, okay? And I think that's why it's showing up, whether you know that or not, okay? You seem to have a great deal of influence, okay, over that. or you might be attracting a lot of masculine attention, just saying, during this time frame, all right? So just be aware of that. You may be not aware of that. Some of you are. But be careful, right? If you're attracting like lots of different intimate partners for some of you, as it's definitely going to get complicated. So that's just a side note, caution. Be prepared for that, and be careful about what you're entertaining as well during this time frame. So wow, let's see what the guidance is, Aquarius. Holy cow. I have the card of gratitude. This says, life is one big continuous circle of giving and receiving energy. Be thankful for who and what's in your life instead of complaining about what you don't have. Focus on gratitude and you will start to attract prosperity and abundance. So what sticks out to me about this card is be thankful for who and what's in your life instead of complaining about what you do not have. So it's easy to get wrapped up in what's not going right for us, or who said what and all of that junk and all of that jazz. But right now, this is a moment of gratitude for you to show appreciation for the things that are working in your life, Aquarius. And as you shift your focus to primarily appreciation, watch as the problems kind of solve or dissolve themselves. So wow, Aquarius, beautiful reading. I'm going to leave it there for now. Zodiac signs that you could be connecting with or have in your own birth chart. I have quite a bit here. I'm just going to say that. I have Libra, Pisces, Taurus, Aries, Gemini, Leo, Pisces again, Cancer, Scorpio. Okay, so those could be in your chart or the chart of the person or the people you are connecting with, but it's a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it did resonate, please do let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give me a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram for more fun stuff, as I do have videos over there. Tarot Time with Dana, all of it linked in the description box below, as well as in the About section of my YouTube, where you can find the donation link. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can do so there. Otherwise, I'm wishing you the very, very best, Aquarius. And until next time, my friends, namaste.